Hey there, welcome to week 4 of All Things Altered, a special Monday open collab hosted by Creating in the Waiting on YouTube. Also, Savage Art Junk Journal Self Swap Share on Facebook. Use hashtag All Things Altered every Monday. Come alter something and have a good time. Come join the collab. So, week 1, I made this folio out of a tissue box. Week 2, I made this altered playing card, also using the pieces of the tissue box. And now week 3, I made a belly band using what was left of the tissue box and assorted wallpaper and other things that I had used in the other 2. And now week 4, I thought, oh, I don't have anything left that I can do anything with. Well, there certainly is enough there to make a little tag or bookmark that will fit into this folio. So that's what I'm going to do. Just when I thought I had given up and I said, hey guys, I used all the tissue box. I did not. I still have some. So I'm going to do a really quick tag with you. So if you want to see how I make a cute little tag to join that little trio and make it a quad, then come along for the ride. I'll be right back. Okay, my favorite way to make a bookmark is to Frankenstein it, so we will get along with that. It is a little too big right now to fit in one of the pockets, so what I'm going to do is, after, yeah, that's nice, sorry about that. After I finish ripping it up and Frankensteining it, I'm going to cut it down a little bit, but I need this edge. Anytime you deconstruct packaging, especially tissue packaging, any fold they have is a good weak spot where you generally can get the pieces apart from each other. And why I'm doing that is I want this as part of stuff I'm Frankensteining, but then obviously I want to use the construction strength of the cardboard to do that. So anyway, so in true Frankenstein, I'm going to just rip these pieces. And I'm not going to think too much about how I'm ripping or why. And then this piece obviously is the two-sided one, but I was really liking the grungy metallic that was on this side. I'm just going to rip this up. So it was really fun to make these series. I need to have an idea in my head before I get going, and it was so cool of Arlene to have this idea where it's an open collab, and every Monday it forces you to think about something. But what I noticed about Arlene is that both in her group and when she crafts, she always has a little bit more in mind than just the craft at hand. And what she does is, as she's making the crafts and doing the challenges for us, you know, thinking about what they are, she's already 5 steps ahead because she's generally making it to put in a journal or something like that. So it took me long enough, but I finally caught on to her. I was like, you know what? There's a method to her madness. So anyway, so I'm cutting this down, and I'm using I saw someone do it and I thought it was genius. Saw someone use the triangle that they did to cut the tag down. Now that's a pointy tag. It doesn't have to be that way. You can always just do this too. If you like that look better, that's more typical tag. I'm pretty sure that is going to fit in my folio now. So now I got my Franken papers. Yeah, so anyway, that being said, I realized, I'm on to you, Arlene. So what she's been doing is she makes things and has things for a challenge, and then at the end of a period of time, pops this journal. Now, you often know that she's working on a journal, and she's amazing, and she makes so many in any given day, week, time, and we're all astounded by how she can put out such high-quality pieces in such a short amount of time. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that she had the foresight to make these challenges for us and put these things together. And it turns out to be 1 or 2 journals or pieces, even in future journals. You know, sometimes she gets excited like we do when she does a challenge and she'll do a mass make inspired by either her Take 5, which is always on Fridays. Now it's All Things Altered, and then there's also, what did I forget? Oh, Monday Makes, All Things Altered Monday, and then Savage Take 5 Friday. So she has lots of different things going on at any time. If you want to check that out and not just join the collab, you're welcome to join the collab, not join the collab. Go over there and watch what she does. She's truly amazing, and it's super fun. And it's a great group of people, and they are very supportive and also nice. So anyway, all right, that's my stuff. Maybe I will take the fancy cutter for my wallpaper. No, I have strips already. I did do diagonals in the belly band. It doesn't have to be anything. I'm not trying to think too much. That's the best way to craft. All right, so officially, other than scraps and offsets, this is the last of the tissue box. I thought these flaps went with it, but now that I'm looking at them, they are too big. They did not. So I have absolutely used all I could of the tissue box, and I'm happy about that. So, all right, so let's get these guys on here. It also might be good, since this is so white. Let me go take first. I want this to be a rather quick video. Let me take some gesso real quick. And gesso is just like fancy acrylic paint, but it's a good base layer if you want to do something. I think it helps me actually adhere things to it, especially if you have something that's shiny and you can't deconstruct it as well as we were able to do here. It actually helps you stick things onto it. I don't know what magic it's made of. You know, again, it says it's an acrylic. It has a little bit of a smell to it, so I don't know what else is involved in gesso. A lot of people just call it watered down acrylic paint, but I don't think it's watered down because it does, you know, a really good job at coverage. So I don't know. If you have acrylic paint, you can always do this with acrylic paint. Actually, you know what I will do? I'm going to dry this real quick, and then I'll be back. And then I will hit up the corners with my metallic paint because I have a couple of the metallic shards here with the cardboard, but I think maybe little pops of metallic might also be nice. So I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, so you may not even see it, and I don't even know, but I'm just going to blob some on here and kind of run it across. Again, I'm not really thinking too much of it at the time. Most of this is going to be covered, if not all of it. And then since I have that there, I'm just going to drag it across and then maybe just use what I have left on here. Just giving it really a shine, not really trying to, just don't want to waste any of the paint. This is pretty much, it's not a no waste project. It's as upcycle as I could get. And, you know, I've never used a tissue box for so much before. I stuck my finger in that. Again, it's not going to matter because it's going to be covered. All right, so let me just dry that real quick and I'll be back. All right, now I'm just going to go a little crazy. I'm going to ink most of the pieces, and I want to ink most of them with black. So I'm just going to ink around these edges and on top a little. And I'm going to ink the tissue pieces and the bubble pieces. Really like these end of notebook shards. I think if I can get the stress in there enough, it makes a nice edge. But you don't have to do them all the same way. As a matter of fact, you probably shouldn't. And I like to go real dirty. I'm not going to do the wallpaper, but I will do these metallic ones because you can see the brown cardboard. And that's not really the look I'm going for here. All right. And so those are inked, those are inked. Ink this. Okay. I'm gonna leave the bubble. That bubble I'm gonna leave be. This still says Scotty's. Ink this triangle. Maybe ink these book pages. And then I can use either the inked or uninked side as we go. But since this is the last piece, it can be trashy because it's made with what we didn't use anywhere else. All right, so now let's glue some stuff together. And again, the part I like about this type of Franken bookmark is you don't have to think too much about anything. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to grab the pieces upside down. I'm just going to put glue on the back of them. And I'm just going to slap them down. Now again, I've said this kind of all throughout. If you're using wallpaper, it is very glue thirsty. I don't know anything about wallpaper. I know there's self-adhesive wallpaper and then there's other kind of wallpaper. I know that I feel like you have to wet this down entirely when you're using it. And maybe that's why. Maybe it just sucks up all the water. I'm not really sure. But anyway. Just gonna run this up here. I'm gonna try to flatten out some of these guys. Maybe even rip them off. I like the way the page looks with the circles, but I don't want necessarily bulk sticking up. This is just going to be a nice small piece to add to the folio that we made in the first week, just for some fun. And you don't have to get real crazy. You don't have to think about this too much. Just kind of put the pieces that you have down, and then you can cut around your shape. And it becomes a creation. And what didn't I use? Oh, I didn't use metallic. And you don't have to use everything you have. You can use pieces of it. Sometimes I glue it down and then I go, oh no, I don't like that. And then maybe I'll rip a piece of it off. Maybe a piece of it even comes off when I'm gluing it, which can happen sometimes. So, all right. Just going to glue that down just in case. Right, there's your one side. And here's your other side. Right. Just going to use my finger. Actually, that's funny because that side looks better than that side. Well, we can glue both sides. All right, hold on. My glue covered hands. The other side doesn't look very shiny at all. So I'm going to put some glue down here. The first piece down usually gets covered over the most, so having glue on top of it is actually going to be a benefit. All right, so I'm going to put that there. She's gone glue crazy again. I'm going to put that piece there. This is a really big piece. Let me just try this little piece in here where the glue is. And this other one here. that is my car clock. Will tell you that we've reached another hour. All right, and what didn't we use? We didn't use the book page, and we didn't have any metallic. So we can do a metallic strip up here. And again, one of the good things about having a lousy short-term memory like I do is I have no idea what I did on the other side. So I don't know if this is the same. I don't know if it's different. But you know, like a little tag can be fun and quirky. You don't have to think too much about it. Okay. All right. So there's one side. There's the other side. I do have still pieces left over. Isn't that the way it always is? I don't know. This is a big piece too. Oh, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to mess with it. All right, I'm going to dry this and then I will be right back. Okay, now that we are mostly dry, I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut around the edges. Now, I am a big fan of having things stick out on edges, but I don't even know where it is. But, you know, again, for this type of piece, and it's going to go in and out of a pocket, or it could live in there forever for all I know. I think that the less stuff that hangs off of it and the straighter that it is, the better. So I'm saying that, but what I'm going to do to give it a little bit of interest is I am going to cut the bottom there where I just was. I'm going to cut that with my fancy scissors. And I'm just, oops, see, that was still wet. But that's okay. I think it has more character when it has a tear anyway. See if I can get that a little dirty. There we go. Right, let me get my character scissors. Oh wait, no, I used this the last time. So let me dry this a little bit more since I'm going to be cutting from the bottom and I don't want to pull it out. Oh, and I have a little piece to cut here. So hard to see. I want to cut into it too much. Spend all that time making the tag even and then you do that. All right, squeeze that glue out. All right, trim along this edge. I'm going to ink this all anyway. Gouda. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so now we are all cut out and a little bit more dry. Let me take these fancy guys. See if we can add a little interest to the bottom. So now we just have a little serrated edge. Doesn't look too fancy there when we just have that, but when I darken it up with the black, hopefully that adds a little bit of interest. Again, we had a lot of room to work with on the bottom because it was bigger than we needed. So, all right, let's get it dirty. My favorite part. Ink all around the edges. Front. Oops, that was funny. All right, now we are all inked around. Now we need a hole. You don't have to have a hole if you don't want to have a hole, but we're going to put a hole in here. Handy dandy hole punch, dude. And getting in center is not my forte, but we will do our best. Let's say somewhere around here. And press with all your might. All right, so we have a hole. Yeehaw. You can ink in there if you want. Just depends on your preference. All right, and then just because we've been using it all throughout and we had a lot left over for the ruffle, and we can make it as thin or as thick as we want, I'm going to cut or pull a very small strip of our imitation cheesecloth, aka gauze. And I'm just going to cut a strip and try to pull. And then I'm gonna mess with it. And then I don't know if I want to ink it. I've been inking everything. If I ink it green, the green is definitely greener than what's going on here. If I ink it black, why don't we just take our paper here. All right, I know that the last thing I did on this was green, so let me just see what comes off on here. It's coming off as a little blue to me. So I'll put the black in here. Again, I don't want to go too grungy, she says, as she grunges up the whole thing. The green is super bright, and it's not a green that really goes with like the piece, so to speak. It just kind of screams green, but it would be okay in pops. Again, I think I said, what, in the other video, 50 Shades of Green. All right, so I'm just going to take that. And again, I don't care what is front, what is back, what is sideways. And I'm going to feed that through. And then I'm just going to loop it up and pull it up. Now I got this long wispy thing, so obviously when it goes into the folio, it's going to need to go to the side, but there you have it. That is, I mean, I do have one more piece of tissue box, so I think I'm done. I turned my trio into a quad, and now we have this tag also that can go in the folio. So thank you so much for watching these. Again, if you are so interested, please do join us at #AllThingsAltered, hosted again by the wonderful Arlene at Creating in the Waiting. Also Savage Art Junk Journal, Sell, Swap, and Share on Facebook. See you next time. Bye.